Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm the Southern Yankee Stitcher. Welcome to my Flosstube 36. It's been about 2 months since my last video. I didn't mean for it to be 2 months, but it just kind of worked out that way. I can't say I've had a lot going on. I mean, I could have made a video. I just wasn't feeling it. I'll just say that. After the holidays and things slowed down, I was just really missing my husband. He's been gone for 6 months now, and his birthday would have been in January. Our 32nd wedding anniversary would have been Valentine's Day, and so it's been a hard couple of months for me. But I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I really am. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. When you're grieving someone. But I also didn't have a lot of stitching to show you, and that was really a big part of it. I started a new Year's Eve, and I'll show you that later. And then I started something in February as well. But the last 2 weeks, approximately in January, I didn't stitch. I had pain in this shoulder and arm and this muscle. I mean, it hurt so bad. It was even coming all into my chest. It's something with my rotator cuff going on. I don't know, but it hurt. Like I couldn't lift my arm. I couldn't do anything. It even hurt to get dressed. I mean, it was hurting. So I was giving it a rest and not stitching because I had the Barefoot Needle Arts beach retreat coming up first part of February. And I wanted to be able to stitch that retreat. I didn't want, to have it all aggravated and just be miserable. I want to have a good time, and I did. I had a really good time. But after I came back from the retreat, I ended up getting sick. I think several people got COVID while they were there or after they got home. I ended up getting COVID. I don't know that I got it there because a lot of my coworkers had it too. Pretty much everybody in our office, I think, had it, and a couple of us came down with it before everybody else. So I don't know. I mean, I could have been the one that gave it to everybody if you're contagious before you have any symptoms. I'm not sure, but it hit me hard. I didn't have cough or any kind of cold or congestion things, but I had fever for 5 days and it just wouldn't go away, and no appetite, and it knocked it out of me. Let me tell you. I couldn't even stitch. I wasn't feeling up to doing anything except laying around and watching TV. After I got over the COVID and was back to work and everything, I started with this little cough. So if I cough, if I cough during this video, that's what it is. I have this time of year every year. The pollen is really bad. Several doctors have said before that living in the upstate of South Carolina where I live is one of the worst places in the United States to live for allergies because the pollen is just unreal. I mean, you'll see yellow clouds go by. Your car, everything is covered with pollen. I think it's the pine trees. I'm not sure. But I never really had this until I moved here. So don't think it has anything to do with COVID. Not that it would matter but I don't want you to be concerned. It's one of those things I have every year. Okay. Well, let me make some little notes over here so I don't, if you see me glancing over, I don't want to forget to tell you anything. And I'll start with telling you about the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat. I went there and met up with some old friends. Jennifer, she's Fifth Daughter on Instagram. I met up with her. We actually met on Crystal Rose's Zoom call. Crystal's another floss tuber, and she lives near me. And she would do periodic Zooms, and we were both on one of those Zoom calls. Well, when we were going to StitchCon last year, Jennifer didn't really know anybody going. I didn't know anybody going, so we arranged to meet each other there, and we just hit it off like we were old friends. I mean, it was just great. And I hadn't seen her from StitchCon until this retreat at the beach. So it was good to see her, and um, you know, the kind of people you just pick up like kind of where you left off, and it's not awkward. It's a good friendship. Anyway, so I had a good time with Jennifer, and people were like, "I can't believe you all just met at StitchCon," because we seem like old friends, But another lady that I met at StitchCon, Rebecca, saw her there, and she knew me and Jennifer. We had all met at StitchCon, and she's a fantastic lady. um, and let's see what I was going to say. Lost my train of thought. Well, yeah. So Jennifer, Rebecca, and I were at a table, and then Krista and her mother, and everybody called her Mama, was at our table too. And so I got to meet them, and that was cool. They were really nice and funny. And I like when we went out to dinner, Rebecca knew a lot of people. She's been to a lot of retreats, I think, and we went to dinner with big groups and people that I didn't know, but we got to know each other, and that was a lot of fun. There was one lady there named Deborah, and we were kind of telling where we were from, and I said I was from Greenwood, South Carolina, is where I live now, and she said I lived there when I was a kid, and she said my father was the store manager for Roses, and I said, oh, well, my mother-in-law worked at Roses. She ran the candy counter there, and I said my husband used to talk about how great the candy counter was, and she would make popcorn. The whole store would smell like popcorn, so you had to get some before you left the store. And it's back when Roses was a nicer store than it is now, I think. Um, and she said, what was her name? And I told her, and she said, I know her. I remember her. And it was such a small world. And she said one night that she went home with her. Maybe my mother-in-law was babysitting her or something. I don't know. And she said, we had breakfast for dinner, and I'd never had breakfast for dinner. And she said, we also played Yahtzee. It was the first time I ever played Yahtzee. And she said she now makes breakfast for dinner. She's made it for her kids and grandkids. And after she played Yahtzee there, she went home and made up her own Yahtzee cards so she could play Yahtzee at her house. And it's so funny that, that would have been back in the 70s that, that one little visit had such an impact, and she remembered it. It was so cool. I wish my mother-in-law was alive today. I wish my husband was to tell him. But I messaged my sister-in-law, the oldest of my two sister-in-laws, and to see if she remembered her. And she didn't remember Deborah, but it touched her so much that Deborah remembered her mother that way. And I'd gone through stalking through my sister-in-law's Facebook page to find an old picture of her mom, and I did. And my mother-in-law, my husband did too, real thin blonde eyebrows. You couldn't hardly see them. And so she would draw them on. And that was kind of the thing back then, back in the day. And I showed her pictures. She's like, yes, the drawn on eyebrows. I remember that. I was like, no mistaking that she's remembering the right person. But Deborah lives in North Carolina, and I think she's lived in Virginia or something before. She told us, I can't remember everything, but it was such a small world there. Then we met another lady there named Rose. She was named after the stores. Her grandfather or great uncle or somebody was one of the original owners of the Roses, and got it. I don't know if he founded it, but he invested in it. It was part of their whole family's business. So we all kind of had like a wow moment, and met these ladies, and they're so, if you ever have a chance to go to a retreat, sign up. Number one, don't worry about being on a wait list, because I was on a wait list for StitchCon, and I was on a wait list for this beach retreat, and ended up getting called for both of them. And so you never know. A lot of things can happen to a lot of people where they have to back out of the trip. But also, if you're nervous about going because you don't know anybody, like Jennifer and I were, we did have each other, but even if we didn't, everyone, you have something in common when you're at a stitching retreat. already because you stitch, but I've never met anyone at a retreat that wasn't very kind and, you know, and everything. So anyway, that's, I have some things I'm going to have to share them as I get to them. I have a lot of haul. I have a lot of haul, so it's going to take me a while to go through it, and I don't really have it separated real good as far as the retreat and other things. So I'm just going to have to show you as I come to it in this stack over here beside me. It's a big stack. Let's see, what else? Well, last night I went to a stitch-in at Panda's Crossing. It's my LNS, and it is about an hour away. And I contacted Crystal Rowe. She's taking a break from her Flosstube right now. She's got a lot going on. Her mom's having some health issues, and she just, you know, is kind of pulled in a million directions right now. So it was nice for her to be able to get out and just stitch and to socialize a little bit and not, you know, just leave her worries behind for a little while. And we had a good time. Dottie, Stitching Scotty, we met up with her. Dottie she shared on her Flosstube. She had neck surgery and she was doing great. She looked like she was doing great. She said she was in a lot less pain than she was in before the surgery. She wasn't wearing a neck brace or anything, and she was able to stitch and be there with us. So I got to see Dottie and then Susie and Crystal and I were there, and there were, you know, other people there stitching, but we were just there for a few hours and stitched and did a little shopping, of course, and caught up with everybody, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Excuse me. All right, well, let me show you my stitching. How long are we? Oh gosh, we're 12 minutes into this, and I haven't shown you one piece of stitching. This is the one that I started. I started like the day after Christmas, and this is from a magazine, Cross Stitch and Needlework, and I don't know what year. I got this from, I think, a Stash Unload. I think is where I got it. Or I got it off the free table at StitchCon. I don't know which. One of those. And I should have laid that down. This is how far I've gotten. I'm using DMC 115. It's the variegated red. And I used some linen I had that I got from a thrift store for $1. 28 count linen from Charles Craft. Y'all seen that before? And that's actually what it called for. So that was like, okay. That's pretty neat that old stuff I bought came in handy. Then on New Year's Eve, you know, a lot of people did the 12 by 12. I don't know if you all did or not. I hadn't planned to do it. I didn't have 12 things kitted up, and I wasn't going to, but let's see, where is it? I did decide kind of the last minute. I watched like the first live part that he did, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to go ahead and at least start something. So I did, and I've shown you all this before because I kitted it up, and this is Theis sampler, 1859. I love this. When I look at it, I just think about my mom. She loved bird prints. She had a lot in her house, and she had like some roses and other things in her bedroom. And you know, some prints and things that had botanical roses. And this cat, I'm going to make him orange tabby because that's her favorite kind of cat. I'm going to put my mother's name here and the year she was born, 1931. I started working on this and I couldn't put it down. I finally put it down because my arm was hurting. This is where I am so far. I love it, y'all. I just love it. These little stitches right here, this checkerboard, are Algerian eyelets or Algerian eyes. I've never done those before, but they're really easy and they were fun. In fact, they were so fun I thought I need to find another pattern that has those. I think I saw somebody on their Flosstube work on some kind of sampler that had a peacock on it, and the whole back of the peacock was done in those Algerian eyes. So now the only thing I'm a little confused about is what these little things are on the chart right there. What do y'all think they're supposed to be? I have no idea. So that was my January start. And you know, this year, 2023, I said I wanted to start one sampler a month because I want to have a sampler wall. I'm sure it's like many of you want to have a sampler wall, and I've got to start it. I'll never get it if you don't start. So I gave myself permission to have some whips and not stress over having too many whips. So when I went to the retreat, I thought, well, I want to start something new. It was, I can't remember the exact dates now. That was when it started, but it was first part of February. So I thought, well, that'll be my February start. And I just decided to start Elizabeth Young, 1829. It's put out by Samplers Revisited. And that's it right there. I like the sampler a lot. I like the grass. I like how blue it looks. I don't know if it's going to be that blue when I actually stitch it, because a lot of the colors are different than what I thought they were going to be. Yeah, I might have to put a cough drop in my mouth, and I really don't want to have to do that. So I started it, and this is how, that, you know, the treat, you don't get much stitching done. This is how far I got. Last night at the stitch-in, this is all I did right here. We didn't stitch a lot, but as I started this at the retreat at the beach, these flowers up here, I wasn't crazy about that peachy color. It just was different than what I thought it was going to be. And it really, it's peach, it's got yellow, and it's kind of, there, you can see it better. I wasn't sure about it. But everyone at my table said, oh, it's going to turn out, it's going to come together. And I think it is coming together the more color I get on there. And I don't want every, you know, I have my favorite colors, but I don't want every sampler on my wall to be the same color either. So I need something a little different. This is going to be a little different, so I'm just going to go with that. While I was at, this was in my bag from last night, while I was at the beach retreat and I was at Barefoot Needle Arts, I got one of these stands, easels, whatever you call it, that it folds flat, so you can take it with you easily. And I've seen other people at retreats with these. I didn't have one, and I really needed something to hold my chart. So I got that at their shop, and I used it at the beach retreat, and I used it last night at the stitch-in, and very handy. Those are the only things I've been working on. Those three. And like I said, there have been like 3 or 4 weeks that I just haven't stitched at all because of my arm. So, but I did manage to do some shopping. Of course. Let me back up a little bit to the retreat. This is my goodie bag from the retreat, and they gave this is from Bendy Stitchy, Recipe for Happy, and it makes like into a cube. There, it's kind of beach themed. They gave us that chart. They gave us a like plastic tumbler with a lid and straw, and I don't have that here with me. Jennifer, fifth daughter Jennifer, gave us this. She said she tells herself that when she has to do something she doesn't want to do. Chin up, Buttercup, or suck it up, Buttercup. So she gave us each one of those with some candies and other goodies in there. A little floss holder, isn't that cute? Some candy and some floss drops and some hand sanitizer things. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do the cough drop thing. Under the Sea Fabrics put with some floss drops and stickers in there. One of the ladies who attended the retreat had something for everyone there. There are 80 people there. And these are little facial tissues holders, covers for your purse. Isn't that cute? She made this for everybody. It's so kind, and I didn't get her name. We also got this little case that will hold needles or beads. That was from the retreat. Got some floss. Soie d'Alger, is that how you say that? I didn't even know that was in there. I missed that the first time I went through this bag. Got a little needle minder. I mean needle threader. Got some floss drops. Some floss. Oh goodness, I dropped it. One of the attendees gave scissor bling to everybody. Got some needles. Table Mates Krista and Mama gave us a lot of candy and some goodies in a bag. Just a little needle minder. And this, Rebecca, who I had met at StitchCon and all, she makes these little pins. She has different ones, but there's a magnet. It hooks on by magnet to your shirt or your lapel or whatever. And can you see that? She let us pick which ones we wanted. It's like a safety pin on the top, and then these hang. And I have a needle, scissors, and a little ruler with a button on it. A little jewel there. Like I said, she had different ones with antique buttons, and they're really cute. Really, really cute. Also from Rebecca, I got some floss drops. And I'm glad I got these. I don't know how many's there, but I have some from StitchCon from her too. So I like all my floss drops to match in a kit if they can. That will help. It's a bigger one, bigger kit. A lot more threads. I got this little gift with scissors, and there's some floss tags and everything in there from the 911 Stitcher, Stacy. And she was there. The only floss tubers I think were there. Stacy 911 Stitcher was there. Michelle from Made by Michelle McGraw. Stitchy Linda, you may have seen her on Finally a Farm Girl. the Appalachian Stitcher, and me were I think that's all of the Flosstubers that were there. And I didn't go up and talk to Stacy and Michelle. They were kind of there together. They had met up, they're friends that have met at other retreats. And I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't. But she came and sought me out Sunday morning before we all headed back. I headed out about lunchtime Sunday. And she's so kind, and she's really a sweet lady. And it was nice to meet her, and just everybody there. It was a great retreat. If you want to go, it's relaxing. You just go and hang out and stitch, and there's not like any classes or anything you take or speakers or anything like that. Their store is off-site, maybe a 10-minute drive, something like that. If there was anything I could say would improve, is that I wish they had a pop-up shop at the site where the stitchy room was, but there just isn't room for it. We talked to the owners about it a little bit and said, that's all we could really suggest, because if you had all the fabrics there that they were selling, and the trunk shows that they had, then if they were at the site, I think they would have just sold a lot more. I know when we were at StitchCon last year, Jennifer, every once in a while, she's like, I need to get back into the annex a little bit. I think I need one more piece of fabric. And we all kept going back just for one more piece of fabric. I did get a few more things at the retreat. Some more needles. I think the retreat gave us some, and then one of the attendees gave out needles. I got a couple things off the freebie table. I'll show those to you. Oh. You know what? I didn't know I got this. Well, I picked up this chart with that sampler. I thought that's a cute sampler. And I don't have 12 for this year, and I want to start 12, so that's probably going to be one of them. This was stuck to the back to it. I don't think I know I got that, but I like it. Maybe I did get it and I just forgot. That's very possible. Then I got this, which I haven't read yet. In fact, everything's still in the bag because I just left it until after I showed it here, because if I separated things, I would never remember what I got. But this is on the freebie table, and it's about needlework tools. And I love seeing all those things, those needlework tools. It's just black and white, but it explains to you what they use them for. I thought that was really cool. Then I got, what do you call this thing? I forget what you call that thing. You know what it's for. It holds your floss holder. I love stitching patriotic, and that'll work for my patriotic. And also got a corner gauge, and I just love that scene. I mean, that's just my style. I love it. I got, I think I showed you all where I bought some of these sleds, and I wanted to make them for gifts next year. Maybe for my children, maybe for my coworkers, maybe for both. But, you stitch it on perforated paper and just glue it right to the sled, and boom, it's really easy. This is one of the few charts they had at the Barefoot Needlework shop, and I like the blue. My son's Christmas tree is blue. He and his wife was their first year with a Christmas tree this year, and that's what they decided to go with. So. Okay, I think some of these were, I'm like, I don't remember buying these. But a couple of these I think were also from the freebie table. And I'm sure that was because it's got a store in Delaware referenced on it. But I thought that was cute. I want to try one of those mattress finishes. This might be a good one to try. I got this too because I have an idea in mind of a chart I want to make that has a tree in it, and it's a song that my mother made up and sang to, sang to us as children, but really sang to my younger sister. And my younger sister wanted a new song all the time, so she'd have to make up songs. Then she did this one, which I'll share later, and you can change out names in the song. But it's about a little bunny that climbs up in a tree, is the song. So this tree would be perfect. And then I just have put a little bunny in there and to do the song. And I'm going to give that to my sister. It could be next Christmas next year. I don't know. I'm going to give it to her sometime. Then this I bought because I just loved it. It's probably the blue that I love. I really love blue. I think I got this one off the freebie table. Maybe I bought it. Is that terrible? I don't think I bought... No, I think I got both of these off the freebie table. Yes, I know I did. I'm sorry. I got both these off the freebie table. It's coming back. It's been a few weeks. I've had COVID between then and now, so that's my excuse. Oh, goodness. Because I remember I only bought one chart at the retreat. I have another thing of needles. They must throw in some needles, maybe when you buy something. I don't know. But this is a chart I saw. You know, I need to make a note of who shows these, and I see them, and then I'm like, I have to have that. But this Brenda Gervais, I love stone houses. Even as a kid, you know, I've told y'all how I loved ancestry and antiques, even as a kid. And there was a community where I guess there was just a lot of rock, and all the houses are stone. It's maybe 10 houses, and they're beautiful, beautiful houses. It's in Maryland and where I'm from. But this just kind of makes me think of home in Maryland. And Brenda Gervais lives in Maryland. She lives in Baltimore, outskirts of Baltimore, I'm pretty sure. I think so. With that needle and thread, that's her, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Country Stitches online. Let's see. I can't. Well, this is a freebie chart they gave, and that's what it is. It says, "Being happy never goes out of style." It's a quote from Lily Pulitzer. So it's done in the lily colors. I did have two other samplers that I know I want to stitch this year, and they were they're not kitted up yet. So I needed fabric, and that's really the hardest thing for me to buy online is fabric. I'm trying to remember which is which now. I think that's how I did it. This is the first one, and these all came off the Sampler and Antique Needlework CD from it's like let's see, I have it right here, 1991 to 2015, every page of their magazine, and this was one of them that was in it, the Liberty Sampler. I love the bottom part, the people there, I mean, just love it all. The house, the trees. I love that eagle. You know, I'm a patriotic girl, and I just love it. So I got this Linen 36 count. Zweigart cream. The chart. Got that to use with it. I think that'll be really pretty. And then I got another piece of fabric for another sampler that also came off the same CD. And it's called the Rhode Island Sampler. And I loved it because it looks like little Revolutionary War, like a patriot there. And I got this. It's called Winter Brew from R&R Reproductions. 36 count linen to stitch that on. I love both those blue houses on that. I mean, whew, what's not to like on that sampler? I love that. The only thing is, I don't really like, I didn't notice this and I may not stitch them. I'm not crazy about Adam and Eve samplers. I don't know, I don't like Adam and Eve on them. The tree of life is good, you know, but, and I'm not crazy about cherubs. And there are 2 little cherubs in there, but I just may leave, do a little curly Q or something in there, or a flower, or just leave it solid tan. I don't know, I'm not crazy about cherubs. Yeah, I'll have to take those off. Okay. All right, like I said, I'm not actually going in order, just with what's on top of the pile. Last night when I went to Panda's Crossing to stitch in, I only bought one thing. You all will be so proud of me. And it was more sled kits. And these are blue too, but I saw they had I think that this barn right here as a model in there. And it's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love a red barn anyway. So I got that. Then, Beach Retreat also got floss ring and floss tags. I think that's it from the retreat. Yes, the rest of this is from antique shopping and thrift shopping over the last couple months. I really haven't done a lot of it because, you know, after the holidays, everybody's trying to watch their budget, and I'm certainly one of those people, so I was really trying to be good. But I ended up going earlier today to my favorite antique shop, the Little Shop of Hoarders in Greenwood, the town where I live. And Crystal mentioned something about it last night when we were driving back from the stitch in, and she said her husband goes thrifting. I think he looks for certain things that he sells online. But she said he went in that shop and he was like, "You're going to love it in here." She still hadn't got it. She said, "I've got to get in there. I just haven't had time." And I was like, "Yeah, you're going to love it in there." That's for sure. I was in there. I got a little sewing tomato because you can never have, I mean, I have a bunch of them up there, but you can never have too many sewing tomatoes. They're just cute. Then I got this Lustex floss for mending and darning silk or hosiery and lingerie. Long staple cotton, specially processed by Collingbourne Mills Incorporated, USA. And it's in this little box. And she had like maybe 4 of these from different companies. One of them were silks, but this one, when I opened it up and saw the tiny wooden spools, I mean, how cute are they? And they say on the top of them, they've got the company name. It's 10 yards. I think that's what it says. 2-ply, darning, and mending. So darning and mending, and I guess they're in like the kind of flesh colors because it was for your hosiery. Just can't imagine having to darn and mend everything. Like okay, I don't wear pantyhose anymore. I don't know many people that do. That's just something that's gone by the wayside, and I'm so happy. But I used to wear them every day to work, every day. And, you know, to mend hosiery for me, it was clear nail polish. If you got to run, that's what you did. If you didn't have clear nail polish, you could spray a whole lot of hairspray on there if you were desperate. But wearing them every day, that's what you did. I can't imagine darning, but I love these, and I'm just going to display them with my other little sewing collectible things. I just liked it a lot. When I was at a thrift store, I also collect silhouettes. And I have, most of my silhouettes are in my bathroom. My bathroom has black and white flooring, and actually 3 of our bathrooms have black and white flooring. But the one in my bedroom was the first one to have it, and I collected silhouettes for a long time, and so I put them all in there, most of them. And I've been gathering a few, waiting to do another kind of like a little area, kind of a small gallery wall, if you want to say. And so I got these, and they're the convex glass. You see how and it's printed on the glass, and it's got like a cardboard scene on the back. Not so much reflection, but I thought these were cute. I see these a lot. I don't necessarily see pairs of them, and I don't have any. Of all the silhouettes I have, I don't have any just like this with this convex glass. But I have probably 4 or 5 other silhouettes that I haven't hung, just little things I've picked up. I've seen at thrift stores and picked up along the way, and because I just want to do a grouping. So when I get that done, I will I'll try maybe to do that this weekend, and maybe delay posting this video till Monday so I can add those to the end. Okay. Also, you know, at my favorite antique shop, I saw this little quilt, and it's not an old quilt, but it is fantastic. First, I'm going to show you the back first. It's all hand stitched. Everything on here is done by hand. Look at the front, y'all. It's like a miniature, like for a doll bed. You know, it's got this triangle here, but then these tiny little triangles are separate pieces where they piece that together. The handle on the basket is embroidered. I mean, the craftsmanship on this was just so remarkable. And the colors were just, you know, kind of fall colors. And I just thought, gosh, man, I can decorate with that in the fall. And, you know, it's just pretty awesome. I don't know, I'm going to show you. And look at the quilting like on these those squares. It's kind of hard to see. Blowing the color out if I get it too close, but that's about the color it is. It's really pretty fall colors. I got a couple of quilting things. I got like a square ruler and a new rotary. I'm so sorry, y'all. I got the square ruler and the new rotary cutter and some stuff you use to back like t-shirts. I'm gonna try and make 3 quilts, just like lap quilts for my children, for my late husband's clothes. So I got some things so I could start on that. I've started a new obsession with 1930s feed sec fabrics. I've always loved them. I have some things made from them. A granny square, or yo-yo quilt, and in the thrift shop, this is all 1930s fabric yo-yos. I couldn't pass it by, y'all. Look at those pretty colors. I'm gonna put something together, make a table runner or something like that to use with these. I just love them. I have sitting over here one of the thing I showed you in like my haul, probably last time. And these are a little bit bigger than this. These were tiny ones. I just love it. You may recall that I got just some they're square cuts ready for, ready to make a quilt. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a like table runner with them. And I was talking to Jennifer and Rebecca while we were at the beach retreat, because both of them quilt. And they both love those vintage fabrics also. And Jennifer said she has a big collection of the feed sack, 1930s feed sack fabric. And so I said I need to get some fabric that I can use for the binding around the table runner or whatever I make. But the colors are kind of hard to match. And she was like, yeah, I can't cut a feed sack unless it's already cut. And the same store where I got all these little pieces, the lady there, I mean, a lot of this was from her collection. And we have the same taste. So when I go in that store, it's like, just let me take everything home with me. But when I went in there this morning, I saw this. She had bundles of different, vintage fabrics, 30s and 40s. And this is one of them. And it's, I don't know how big of a piece it is. Well, this is in half. So, a yard, and I don't know, maybe a square yard. So I may use this for the back of this table runners. I got it. There's a little stain on it right there, but that's it. I don't really care. I can work around that. After I went to the shop, I went by a quilt shop, and they have some reproduction fabrics, and I thought I wanted something with a red in it to do the binding, but there's so many options that I needed to have the vintage fabrics with me. So I think I was in there thinking I was going to get a backer fabric, but I think I'm going to use this for the backer and get something else for the binding, because you're not going to see a lot of it. I could go back and buy some more to use for the binding. I kind of just hate to cut it and just use it for binding, because it's like you don't see a lot of it. I don't know. I'm still working on that, but I'm gonna start the quilt top soon. At the same store, I got 2 books. Tasha Tudor's Garden and her heirloom crafts. It's just eye candy. Just eye candy. Tasha Tudor is pretty remarkable. Her art is remarkable. Look at her weaving there. And quilting, I mean, oh, wow. Anyway, so they're just like when I need some eye candy. Oh, let's see. When I was at a thrift store, came across, they had a whole bunch of vintage bottles. And I have a lot of vintage bottles. A lot of them were dug up around my childhood home. We would, I may have mentioned some of this before, so if I'm boring you and repeating myself, I apologize. But there was a spring house on our property, and we had spring water in our house most of my childhood. Later, when my parents divorced and my mom turned the basement into an apartment so she'd have some extra income, they made her start to chlorinate the water that came in from the spring. And when she sold the house, they had to drill a well. They weren't allowed to use spring water. I'm like, we pay all this money for spring water in a bottle, but she couldn't use it in her house. That's what we grew up on. I mean, people, when they came over, would say, this water's so good. Like, they just have a glass of water with their meal. For you to comment on the water, it's good. And it came out of the faucet ice cold and just really good. I've found articles from, I think it was the 1890s, that talked about coming to Chestnut Springs, like for vacation or coming to build property there. And that was the spring, it was Chestnut Springs, that was in our backyard. But people, it was a community like spring, so people would come there for water a lot. And, they'd take their water back to their house. Some people didn't have a well or a spring or source for water. And so they also dumped trash near the spring house, maybe 100 feet away or whatever. And, the trash that they dumped back in, 20s and 30s maybe, or maybe even earlier than that, wasn't the same kind of trash we have now. And or the volume of trash that we have now. So we would go back there and dig in there, and I remember one time we found a Dick Tracy medal, like kid's badge to wear, and we found this it was a giant ring, and it had a name on it, and we researched it and found out that it was like a giant at the circus, and that was the ring that fit his finger. So kids would buy a ring that was humongous and knowing that it fit his finger. But anyway, back to the original reason I was telling the story is we dug up a lot of bottles when we were back there digging. And so I have this collection of bottles. Some of them came from digging those up as a child. Some of them came from under my husband's grandparents' home. And apparently when they did work, whoever was either building the house or when they bricked the house, because it was bricked later, they threw these wine and whiskey bottles under there. They were, I guess, drinking while they were working. So I have some of those too. And something about an old bottle. I had, this is one I got at the thrift store. It says Listerine. It's small. And I have larger bottles like those wine and whiskey bottles, and they're not, it's like, they're like this big, but it's still, it was wine, kind of narrow, kind of like you would think of a flask, about a flask size. And I made photocopies of some old photographs and put them down in there, and they kind of act like a picture frame. I just wound them up to stick them down in, and then I spread them out with a chopstick. And it were really cool. Those bottles, I still have them with the pictures in them, and I change things out a lot. But this is the other one I got. They had a bunch of them there, and this one just says McCormick and Company, Baltimore. So, I found this in South Carolina, and I'm a Maryland girl, so I had to get that Baltimore Jet bottle. So I'll just add this to my collection. I think I like to change up decor, especially decor that sits on furniture or whatever. I don't necessarily like to change things hanging on the walls because I don't like to put more holes in the walls. But so I'll do something with those bottles, and I'll be showing you some of those pictures. If it's not in this video, it will be in the next for sure. So the next thing I got, oh wait, I have two things left to show you. This thing in my hand, I saw this back in December when I was in this antique shop, and it was just marked vintage sampler or antique sampler with a price. And I looked at it and thought, that's not from 1834. That's like a reproduction somebody did. I liked it, but I was like, nah, I don't want to buy that. Well, I saw it there today, and I was like, it does say antique sampler. I'm sure she thinks it's antique. So I was like, let me look at the back of the frame. I picked it up and looked at the back of the frame. Can you all tell? It's signed by Kathy Barrick, 1997. I think she probably stitched this. I'm thinking maybe that was her married name. I can't read it. Yeah. Kathy Barrick. I don't know why it's either her pattern or she stitched it. I think she probably stitched it. Can you believe it? That was awesome. When I saw that, I was like, oh, let me not show my excitement too much. The lady did give me a little discount for being a return customer, because I do go there a lot. Oh, I forgot one thing. I got this quilt. She had a lot of quilt squares that were made from the same vintage fabric. And I looked at them. There was a set of them. It was 12 of them, I think, and they were all done in red, white, and blue. These vintagey fabrics, and I thought I could put that together and make a quilt just to hang over a piece of furniture in my living room when I do patriotic. And I have patriotic up from May through August. Well, through part of September, really. I'll keep it up through Labor Day. From Memorial Day to Labor Day, my living room is patriotic. Because I love patriotic, and also because I love red, white, and blue. Just love it. So, but then I saw this, and it was not a lot more money to get this quilt than it was to get the quilt squares. And all the work's done, and I mean, y'all, this is so pretty. Let me stand up. It's kind of hard to show. This is the other side. The backing is just plain, but I'm sure it was hand quilted. I imagine most things this age are, but I don't know a lot about quilts. I just knew that I saw this, and I was like, yep, I need that one. I need that one. Then the last thing is probably my favorite thing I got. Y'all, please excuse my mess over here. This piece I'm working on here, and I'm doing an experiment with this spray, antiquing spray, and the things I'm doing in here. I'm going to share that with you next time because I haven't finished with my experiment yet. And this is a frame I got Hobby Lobby clearance. And I had two black and white panoramic photographs. One was my my husband's grandfather when he was in CC camp, which was civil. Oh gosh, I can't think what it stands for now. But they went around, like, did all the parks. They would do parks and roads. This is the kind of work they would do. And so he's in that, have that. And then I have one from the cotton mill here in Greenwood, and it was all the workers, a big panoramic picture. And I had both of those framed for my husband several years back. And our back hall, I call it the Hall of Fame, but it's got bunch of pictures, mainly black and white pictures of family back there. And it's just like a gallery wall full of stuff. Well, when I saw this frame, I mean, I paid a lot to get those others framed, and they'd been rolled up for years, so they weren't. There were places where it almost was ready to split, so I knew if I didn't frame it, it was they were going to be damaged beyond repair. But then I came across this, and this is my mother's graduating class. Frederick High School in Frederick, Maryland, and it fits perfect in there. I'm gonna have to get a mat cut for it, but I can put it together then. And my mother is, see the boy holding the pennant? She's right there. She was born in 31. I think this is, I want to say she graduated in 1950. I'm not exactly sure. I can't read what it says on there. I don't know if she graduated in 49 or 50. But 50 came to my mind before I even looked at this picture. So that's going to go in that frame, and that's why I have that stuff set up. And this is a vintage suitcase, and I keep different frames in there that I'm going to put stitching in. So I had it out trying to match up some stitching. This last piece, kind of like the Kathy Barrett cross stitch, I had been looking at in her shop for months. This one even longer, like it, maybe 6 months. I've been looking at this thing, and finally today I was like, you know what? I'm doing it today. I'm going to splurge and get this for myself. I want it because if I come in here again and it's gone, it's been here so long. If I come in and it's gone, I'm going to be so upset. And when she totaled up everything I got today, and I didn't have this last item. You can see part of it right here. I didn't have this last item in it. And I said, I want to get one more thing. And she was like, okay, you know. And I ran back and got this, and she said, I'm glad you got it. I know it's going to a good home because it was about to go home with me. She said, I love it. I love the color. Look at this, y'all. This antique. I assume this is like for dolls. For, you know, kind of like the one I have that was my grandmother's. It's not nearly this ornate. Of course, it's painted the orange and black, and it's got, you can tell it's old. I don't think it was like for jewelry. I really think it was for dolls. And it's just awesome. This is going to go in my bedroom, on my dresser. I have a modern jewelry box that looks like a high boy. Is that what you call it? Where it's got the drawers on the bottom and then they get like a smaller set of drawers on the top. It's like a dresser, but it's tall. I think that's what you call it. But anyway, and I've loved it, and it's not old. But then I'm going to put this with my grandmother's piece too. And the store owner, she said, when you send it, when you get it set up, send me a picture. I want to see it. I said, well, it might take me a while because I kind of have to put things and keep tweaking them. I'm not like my girlfriend Lisa, who can just, man, she can just throw stuff together and it looks perfect. That's her job. So it's a good thing she's good at it, but she's really good at it. You know, it's got a little piece broken off right here. That's the only major thing I see, but I just love it. Just love it. So that's it. That's all I have right now, and I may make just a short video that's kind of like a home tour, but it may just be pictures instead of video. Because I'm not good about walking and filming. I don't have, what do you call it, selfie stick. I don't have anything like that. So, but I will share some of that home decor. It's better than all this junk back here. This fabric up here, this fabric in the smaller check, I can't hardly do it point right. It's got red, green, blue and yellow in it. I have a chair that's been redone in that fabric. And then I have this other that I think someone just gave that to me. I don't have anything that's done in this fabric, but I've got these tables over here that are like my work tables, science tables, and I have stuff under them. Well, I got the curtain rods that you twist, and they're tension rods. And so I just need to make some curtains. I think I'm going to use, I got both these out trying to figure out which one. I think I'm going to use the one with the red, yellow, blue, and green, if I have enough of fabric there left over. I bought all that when I took it to the upholsterer, had the chair done, and he gave it all back to me, what was left over. So this room always looks so junky. And sometimes I do have junk in here like this, sitting right here on top of that sewing chair. But, you know, when you have your storage under there, I think if I just cover it with a curtain, it will look a lot better. So that's about it. I hope it won't be that much longer until I make another video. My arm has been hurting me, but I did stitch last night. It was fine. I was able to stitch. No problem. And I'm going to keep stitching this weekend because I have a doctor's appointment next week. Another follow-up for my arm. And last time I went, it stopped hurting. I mean, it kind of comes and goes. I don't understand it. But anyway, I'm going to stitch and have it hurting when I go so he can figure out what to do. It's probably injections is what I'm going to get next. I think that's about all I have to share. I hope to be back with, like, maybe in a month so I can show you some real progress on my stitching, and I'll show you how I display some of these antiques that I got that I'm super excited about. And I'm good. If anybody knows the name of this pattern, I'll have to go look up. I haven't looked up at all, Kathy Barracks, but and it's from 1997. I don't know if she wouldn't probably remember if she stitched this, but I wouldn't imagine she would sign it if she hadn't done it herself. So, that was a score. A score for sure. All right. Well, it was great catching up with you all, and just if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and give me a like if you like the video. I kind of hate to ask that, but it's something you got to do if you want more subscribers, and I would like more subscribers for no other reason than to know that people are enjoying the content I'm putting out there. You know, if you like it, just give me a thumbs up and let me know you like it, and I will talk to y'all again later. Bye.